Good day, welcome to today's class. So if this is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscription button below, and if you are a returning subscriber, I say God bless you. So in today's class, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, which is titled labor costing. So I did one video before on introduction to cost accounting, where I explained the element of cost. So if what do you mean by time rate is paying your laborers per hours. Yes, if you go to developed countries like United Nations, USA, their minimum wage is not per month, it's not per every month, it's per hour. They'll tell you that, okay, for an hour you'll be paid 850 naira, 850 Nigerian naira. So that is what we mean by what time based. We are paying you based on your time. Now, for example, let's say this is what I mean. This is employee A, worker A, rate per hour. You'll be given the rate per hour. Let's say the rate per hour for employee A is 100 Nigerian naira, and the A worked for time worked, or actual time. Let's say he worked for 10 hours. So if I'm to pay my employee on time rate or time based, it is very simple. Since if you produce in an hour, let's say for example in an hour you produce, this is based on time based, but rate per hour is 100 and you work for 3 hours. Or let's say rate per hour is 8,000 and you work for 3 hours. So this is based on time. So let's look at output. Let's say rate per output is 8,000, and the quantity you produce, you only produce 2. There are some times whereby employees might not be able to work up to their the way they work up to their efficient rate. So looking at this employee now, maybe other days this employee might have been working and produce 10 per day, produce 15 per day, but all of a sudden, maybe that particular day, due to illness or something, the employee could not produce the normal 10 or 15 he used to produce. So he was only able to produce 2. And if you look at it now, under the time rate says 1,000 per hour, and he worked for 3 hours. So under the time rate, his salary will be 1,000 times 3, that is 3,000. Now, but under output based method, his salary will be 1,000 times 2, which is 2,000. So this one is saying that anytime we have any worker that works below the guaranteed piece rate, which is the output rate, we should not pay him this, but we should pay him this. So that is what the time rate with guaranteed piece rate means, that if at all you do not work up to the normal your efficient rate before, like on a particular day you just work below and you'll be earning less, a lower amount that day, it says we should not pay you that lower amount. By the way, we should calculate your time you used, and rate per hour we should pay you the higher amount. So that is what time rate with guaranteed piece rate is. So all these are terminologies you need to understand. So let's now move to the major parts of this video, where we now start to go deeper and deeper. So now we'll be looking at bonus scheme. So what do you mean by bonus scheme? Bonus scheme, I believe you have understand everything we've done before. So bonus scheme is just it is designed to encourage or to be an incentive for workers that save resources. Yes, so that's what we mean by bonus scheme. Bonus scheme simply means that if in a situation where we have workers that save resources, instead of using 3 hours, the worker saves time, the worker used 2 hours, so we have to pay a kind of bonus to the worker for saving us time. So, and all of that, you save materials, you save resources, you save time, most especially. So that is what bonus scheme address. We pay bonus to workers or to employees that saves the company resources, maximize, or in any way you want to say it. So now, talking about bonus scheme, there are 3 different computations that we'll be doing. So we have 3 major postulations, one by RC, one by RC Ware, and one by Rowan. I will treat everything, don't worry. I'm going to break it down so that you will get it perfectly. You have to pass that exam. That's just it. So we have the RC method of computation of bonus scheme. We have the RC where, and we have the Rowan method. Now we just begin this topic because in our next video, this is where I'm going to stop for this class. In my next video, I'll be explaining idle time, deeper aspect of labor. So you don't want to miss the video. Just click the subscription button and on the notification so that whenever I drop another one, I believe you know what we call 1/3. So we should not pay the worker 50%. No, why pay the worker half? We should pay the worker 1/3. So the employer will take 2/3, the employee will take 1/3. So in favor of the employer. So formula for RC where is just 1/3 of time saved times time rates. So this is for RC where. So for row 1, the formula is kind of it makes looks complicated, but it's not complicated. I'm going to break it down. So row 1 says the formula for computation of bonus scheme should be time saved, let me write it in full, time saved over standard time times time rates times time taken. So when Rowan comes up with his own computation, he said bonus scheme should be time saved times over standard time times time rate times time taken. So let me explain, what do you mean by standard time? Standard time is the time that is given by the company. Now whenever you are dealing with bonus scheme, they will always tell you that this worker is expected to spend this amount of hours on this work. So if the worker is being given 50 hours to produce and everything, then that 50 hours that the worker is being given is the standard time. So if the worker did not use up to that 50 hours, the worker spent 30 hours producing everything, then the actual time, which is also called the time taken, is 30 hours. So that is how you just get the computations and So you look at all these formulas. I'm going to take a question now. We're going to calculate the basic pay and the gross pay of some workers. I'll display the questions on the screen. So let's see. So now let's go. Let's read the question together. You have we have time allowed from this question is 12 hours. Day rate is 18 hours. Time taken by A is 6 hours. Time taken by B is 9 hours. So they ask us to calculate the bonus to be awarded to both employees. Bonus to be awarded to both employees. So now the first thing we need to do is that bonus to be awarded to both employees, I'm going to be using the RC method, the RC where method, and the Rowan method. Now let's go. To calculate the bonus, let's start with employee A. Starting with employee A, let's start with RC, then RC where. Now, starting with employee A, we're told that for employee A, the time taken is 6. That's the actual time taken. So the time allowed, you can see the time allowed is the standard time. And now, under RC method, what is the formula? Under RC method, the formula is simply for bonus scheme is 50%, don't forget, 50% of time rate times time saved, or time saved times time rate, anyone. So now, using this method, now we have the calculation it will now be 50 over 100. Time rate, what is my time rate? Time rate is how much? So from the question you see that day rate it has already been given 18,000, so that's the time rate. 18,000 times time saved. Now if you look at A, for employee worker A, they said the time allowed is 12 hours. Now they now said time taken by A. From the question, if you look at it, time taken by A time taken is 6 hours. So if A is meant to spend 12 hours, then A end up spending 6 hours. Definitely A has saved 6 hours. So 18,000 times 6 will give us the bonus under using RC where. So if you punch your calculator, 18,000 times 6 and times 50%, the bonus will be 54,000 under RC. 54,000. So under RC method, the bonus is 54,000, which is RC saves 50% of the time saved times time rate. So now moving to RC where, he said we should just give 1/3, 1/3 of the time saved of the bonus of the time saved on and time rate to the employee. You understand? Now, so 1/3, that will be 1/3 of time saved times time rate. So 1/3 of what is the time saved? We are still on A. Don't forget, you have not even moved to B. We are still on A. So on A, time saved is, we've calculated that here, 6 hours. Time saved is 6 hours times, what is the time rate? 18,000. 18,000. So if you do 6 times 18,000 times 1/3, if you punch that on your calculator, you have 36,000. You have 36,000. So can you see that RC will give us a very high bonus than RC where? So let's look at row 1, the last one, which is row 1. Let's compute that here. Row 1 says it is what? Time saved over standard time times time rate times time taken. So what is the time saved? We are still on A. Time saved, we've calculated that here. Time saved is 6 over, I told you that the standard time is the time allowed by each employee. So time allowed, from the question we see time allowed is 12 times time rate. What is the time rate? 18,000 times, but this is a bonus under each method. Company can pick any method they want to use. Some company use RC methods for calculating bonus, some use RC. Not that they can use the 3, they cannot use the 3. So company cannot use the 3 because don't forget that there's one of the principles of accounting, or one of the generally accepted principles, concept and convention, that say that a company must be consistent with their methods. Yes, so that means if you are using RC method, you need to be consistent with it. If you are not that you use RC this year, next year you use RC where, next year you use row 1. No. So this is a bonus under it. This is not a salary. So if they ask you what will be the major, what will be the A basic pay, that means what will be a salary. The A salary, don't forget that in this method, in this question now, they said, you should know that this is time rate method of calculation. So now under time rate, the basic salary is simply equals to time rate times time taken. So its salary, a salary will be, basic salary will be time rate. So what is the time rate? 18,000 times, what is time taken by A? 6. So 18,000 times 6. If you punch your calculator, 18,000 times 6, you'll be having 108,000. So A basic salary is 108,000. So A will be going on with 108,000 plus any of this bonus. If it is RC where, 108,000 plus 54,000. If it is RC rather, if it is RC where, 108,000 plus 36, and if it is row 1, 108,000 time plus 54,000. So that is just bonus scheme. You can do for B, calculate for B, and if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section. Yes. If you have any topics you want me to treat, do video on, drop it in the comment section. So that is the end of today's class. If you don't understand anything, please ensure you take it back and watch it very well to get it. You must pass that exam. That is just it. And please subscribe. If this is your first time, click the red button to subscribe, on the notification button, so that when I drop more videos, you see it. So I'll see you guys in my next class. I still remain your tutor, Matthew. Thank you.